Hey, folks, thank you for joining us again for another exciting episode of YOML. This is the Year of Magical Learning podcast. And welcome back to another week. And I'm back from vacation. And yesterday, Chris and I didn't get a chance to do the
We had
our
to catch up.
podcast because we
Yeah,
have to catch up on the things that we've done that we haven't been reporting to each other. So
right.
here we are again. So today we are looking at Reflection 280 in a brand new book with three parts. So this is part one of three.
Yeah. So this book is called the called Linchpin. Are you Indispensable by the author Seth Godin. This is a three-part reflection actually. So this book is I loved it honestly. The book's about do you know do you know Seth Godin? Like do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know like
The
okay.
purple
All
cow.
right, so with the purple cow. Yeah, I've actually never read that one. Is it good?
Yeah, it's good. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I mean, it's obvious. Like how people say the compound effect. It's one
Mhm.
is one concept, but kind of explain why this. Talking about the purple cow, you're talking about the. I mean, you're talking about the black swan, right? Black
Right.
swan among the white swan, the purple cow among purple cow. It stands out.
Right. Oh,
It's a
I see.
marketing book. It's
I
marketing
see.
book. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I mean, I should probably go read a couple more Seth Godin books because the the three that I've read of his are I've really enjoyed, and I know he has a lot more. So when you find somebody that you really like and you resonate, their voice resonates with you, like my
I mean,
experience is
if
go
you're
do
eating
it all.
cake, if you're eating cake
Yeah.
and you love it, you eat some more. So
Yeah, if you
who's
find
stopping you? Yeah,
if you find a baker that's really good, like go back to that damn baker until you tried all their flavors, right?
exactly.
Yeah,
If there's
yeah,
a shirt you like, buy seven. I mean,
right, yeah, yeah.
why you say, "Oh, I don't know, I really don't like it, but I have to have a different." Who told you that? Who makes you?
Well, it's a little different. It's a little different than that because this is these are this. I like the baker analogy. I like your cake analogy better because they can make totally different cakes. Like this could be a butter pecan or this could be a red velvet cake or something like that, and then they can make like a lemon meringue or whatever. But I guess the point is
Yeah, I mean, there's
I
the different.
yeah,
There are levels too. Yeah, I agree.
yeah, you're right. So they're totally different, like genres of cake.
But it's still cake.
But it's still cake, and it's the same baker. So I trust the baker now, right? Like I trust that Seth Godin as the baker will always deliver a good quality cake. It's like Steve
Yeah.
Jobs, like we were talking about yesterday. Like I
Mhm.
trust that Steve Jobs and Apple will come out with whatever whenever I go grab my new i device or Apple device from the store, that I trust that they will do their artistry work, their best art, bring their best art out,
Mhm.
and through their meaningful work, I'm willing to consume it, right? So Seth Godin's one of those people I feel like at this point in time. So he's pretty solid. And honestly, I didn't have a huge background with this guy. Like, I mean, this was all relatively new up until about July of last year. So about this time last year. The first book that I ever read of Seth Godin's was The Dip, that was recommended by my boss, my former boss, when I was still at Salesforce. Or sorry, my soon to be boss when I was still at Salesforce, who was trying to get me to come on board to the company that I work at now, recommended that book, The Dip, because rightfully so, the guy's really smart, and he was asking me what's important about my life, why am I doing this when we're going through the interview process, and we got on topic of a lot of different books and things like that, and he was intrigued by what I was trying to do, and he gave me a little fuel for my own fire, right? So
Mhm.
The Dip was a book that inspired me to actually want to quit my job, and then when I started, I asked him, "Hey, that book was really good." I was like, "You got any other recommendations?" And he goes, "Yeah, my other favorite book happens to be another Seth Godin book. It's called Linchpin." And he goes, "Check it out." And I was like, "Okay, sure, fine." So I was like, "Of course, I'm gonna read it." I liked the first one. He had made a good recommendation. I was like, well, I mean, maybe this one's good. So that's how I ended up reading Lunchpin, and I, shocker, I loved it. Or a three-part reflection, right? So this book is about gosh, like being a linchpin at work. This is the people that aren't afraid to bring their art out and what they do. The people that don't wait for somebody to tell them, "Hey, this is what you do. This is how you do your job." Blah 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 blah. This book is about being a linchpin, meaning like like doing your best to not follow the rule book, but following your own rule book, and doing doing the work that you love, and pouring yourself into it, and bringing your art out in whatever you do, and becoming indispensable in the process, right? And I think Steve Jobs is a great example of that, right? I mean, we were talking about that yesterday. That guy was, he's indispensable to Apple. I mean, I don't honestly, I don't know. I know Apple survived since he's passed away, and who knows how long they will. But I mean, look at like Ford Motor Company. Henry Ford was a linchpin. And you look at like Tesla. Like once Elon Musk leaves there, like is Tesla still Tesla? Like it's not. Like these companies are a reflection of these people, and the cultures that they bring, and they're linchpins, right?
Well, the
like
art lives on.
Yeah, the art lives on, yes, but like, does the company continue to carry the same themes? And this is something you and I've talked about with Clubany many times. Like, this is why we're doing what we're doing, is because we want people to understand why we're doing what we're doing. We want people to understand, like, this is about meaningful work and meaningful relationships. And if there's ever a time in the future, 1,000 years, 10,000 years from now, where like, if God, if we're ever blessed enough to create this universe that we want to create of Clubany, right? And somebody's ever looking back on it. I mean, hell, think about the United States Constitution.
The universe already, that universe already exists. It exists for both you and me. Okay, it's small, but it exists already.
Agreed. Yeah, I totally agree with that. But that's why we are, in a lot of ways, we love talking about this topic, and we love strategizing about it, and we love figuring out how we can move forward with this. But at the same time, this is also documenting that, of where these ideas come from, and where, so people can't fuck it up, basically, right? Like, I mean, like, it's really easy to Steve Jobs didn't document a playbook. I mean, I just read his biography, but that was somebody that just wrote a biography about Steve Jobs. Like, that wasn't about Apple necessarily. I mean, there was a lot of components to it, but like, I don't know, is there an Apple playbook that was written about this, that they all documented this stuff before? And, did Steve, make sure that he wrote down everything that of his philosophies on life, and how to, I don't know. I mean, I really have no idea. So maybe he did, and maybe that's a way that they can carry that legacy forward. But oftentimes, like, you see, you remember the movie, the book, Moonshots, where it's be a gardener, not a Moses. I don't think Steve Jobs was a gardener. I think Steve Jobs was a Moses. I don't think Elon Musk is a gardener. I think Elon Musk is a Moses. I think Henry Ford was Moses. These people are, they come with the ideas, and they say, this is how we're going to do it. Like, here's how we're going to do it. And then they leave. Right. And then when they're not there, like, it's hard to carry on that legacy, because it's not them. Like, they are the brand, in a lot of ways. Right. Like, Steve Jobs still reverberates, in my opinion, on Apple every single day. Whether he's here or not, for the time being, and someday he won't, though. Like, Sam Walton, does he resonate on Walmart anymore? No, he doesn't. Like, I mean, we all know what Walmart is, and we all hate it. Well, eventually it'll fall apart, right? But for a long time he was a linchpin. So anyway, that's what this book's about. So my reflection is message received, universe. And I don't know, this would probably be a pretty short reflection, just because I don't really know, I don't know that there was a huge point to this one, other than it was me reflecting on, like, one of those, like, God damn it, moments, where it's like, it's just like, son of a bitch, you fucking universe, yeah, I see what you're doing, you know what I mean? It was one of those kind of moments that I was writing about and just kind of capturing it. But I started this off with, like, I really love my new boss, right? So he had recommended the dip. And when I asked him, when I went back to him for some inspiration, the second book he recommended was Linchpin. And I'm reading this book and I'm going, fucking A. I was like, Seth Godin, like, I was like, this is exactly what I want to say to my team. And I told you about this. Do you remember when I read this the first time? And I was like, true, because I was trying to reconstruct how I was going to do the core values quest for my new team that I just hired. And I was like, this is the book, man. I was like, this is the exact message. It's about feeling free to be yourself, and to bring your art into the workplace, and to be the linchpin, to be the person that's indispensable, to be the person that is striving to be great at whatever they're doing because they want to, because they care about it, because they love it, and they're bringing their work out, and and anyway, I was like, my first thought when I read this book is like, this is exactly, if I was going to write a book about this, like I would have written this exact book that Seth Godin had just written. And I was, and it got me thinking, you know what, like taking a lesson from, how to win friends and influence people and all this other stuff. The worst thing that you could ever do is when you're mentoring somebody or whatever, is to like tell them like what's going on. Right. If all I could think to myself, in my earlier years, I would have been like, well, I'll just tell them this message and I'll make sure that they understand it, but like, that's not how it works, right? Like people don't just understand it because you spent 5 minutes, saying, hey, just bring your art out at work. They'd be like, what the fuck is this, guys? This is craziness. Like, what are you talking about? So like my reason why I decided to make this the first read that my whole team and I read together was because I wanted to set the tone of like, this, he's saying exactly what I want to say, but the best part is it comes from a third party source, right? Where I don't have to be the person telling them. All I have to do is facilitate the conversation and like have them read it, and then we can all talk about it, and then they can interpret it how they want to interpret it. But they spend 10 hours, 12 hours, whatever, how much time it is, like listening to this, consuming this. I letting the ideas percolate around their brain, getting them thinking, all this other stuff, right? And then we all just get together and talk about it. Like that's a way better way to learn, in my opinion, than it ever of me just sitting up there for an hour-long meeting telling them about bring your art to the, like bring your art into the workplace. They'd be like, this fucking guy's nuts. So as I'm thinking about this and I'm reading this book and I'm finishing it, and I was like, this is just the perfect book, like to start off my relationship with them and to really set the tone of what like meaningful work and meaningful relationships means, and have somebody else say it and say it in a very clear, concise way that I would have said myself. And I'd be very proud to have these same words come out of my mouth. And as I'm thinking this, then it kind of hit me, and I was like, son of a bitch. I was like, my fucking boss like did this exact same fucking thing to me. I don't even know if he did it, if he's like some Jedi Knight or something like that, but
he probably did it before you even joined. I mean, that's when he'll give you the dip and say, well, what's the lesson you take away with the dip? Right?
Quit my job.
He's recruiting you, right? He's recruiting you.
I know,
and
man.
All he did is hand you a book. Say, look, here's his little mystery, right?
I know.
And then the book did the job for him. He recruited you while you were knowing. And then after that, he knew that you're gonna come back to him for another book, and he'll give you the next book, which is what he's supposed to be the leader for you. He's handed the book, have the book does the job for him again.
That is the best. That is the best leadership you could ever do. Is like whenever I talk to my team these days, I'm like, here, go read this book. You're curious about this? This is a topic. Go read this book, and then we'll come back and we can talk about it. And if they don't read it, then I know they're not really curious about it. And if they do read it and they come back and they have a lot of questions, I'm like, oh, we can have a better conversation. Then I can be like, here, go read this book. Go read this book, because I can't tell them. This is the whole point of this whole journey, right? Like we can't put together, 280 reflections and 3 years of you and I talking about and having conversations about stuff and condense that into something that like into a simple phrase or word or whatever that they can just intuitively understand, and it all sinks in, and we're like, yeah, meaningful work, meaningful relationships, like company, like they're gonna go, I don't know what you're talking, but like if you give them fucking content and a little nibble, a little something to chew on, and they go and engage with it. Like I have multiple of my team members now that they come to me all the time about this stuff, and we have great conversations, and they ask me about this podcast. We were just talking about this podcast today with one of my employees. I finally let him know that we do this stuff, and he's now been listening to a few of these episodes, and he's he's enjoying it, and he's enjoying the conversations, and he asked me he comes to these conversations or one-on-ones now, and he just wants to ask about like he has like a poignant question about some topic that he wants to learn more about, and then I give him something to go chew on or whatever, and a book, maybe a recommendation or something else, and then he comes back and and then we do it again, and he comes back and we do it again. Like we've been doing this now for the entire time that he's been the boss employee relationship, and like this is the thing though, is like no one ever learns because you tell them something. I mean, we've learned this a long time ago, right? Like no one ever, they have to consume it themselves. They have to make sense of it themselves. And then they have to be able to go, apply it how they want to go apply it and internalize it how they want to internalize it. And that's why, like, I when I read this book, I was like, this is it. And then I obviously, like I said, I had that epiphany where I was like, fucking A. I was like, this is exactly what I'm planning to do to my team, which I'm assuming that my boss did the same thing to me. I'm so sad that I don't work for him anymore, to be honest with you.
But at least you I guess inherit some of his legacy, so you know exactly what you need to do if you want to hire somebody or recruit somebody.
Yeah.
Because he recruited you. I mean, to me, looking at it now, he recruited you like world-class recruiter. It's like,
yeah. I'm seriously, like, I was not trying to leave. I mean, I had all kinds of apprehensions about coming to this company because I was like, I don't know you guys. I mean, like, I'm one of those people that if I was ever going to leave a company that
he didn't waste a single effort in terms of persuading you. All he did,
I sold myself. I mean, I sold myself, like, I mean, but I sold myself through him giving me a little little cheese bite, to go nibble on, and then I was like, okay, I like this trail. Like, where are we going? Like, let's keep going, right? And that's the fun of it. Like, that's the best part about being a gardener, not a Moses, right? Like, you don't tell people this is the way, like you give them something to nibble on, and then if they want to nibble on it, then they can follow that, and then you can give them another nibble. All the while you're doing the same thing, right? We're all doing the same thing. It's just that I might be leaving a trail for somebody that's a little bit further behind me, but somebody else that's a little bit further ahead of me is leaving a trail. Like, I mean, it all works together, right? And I don't know, it's just something cool. So the reflection on this one was message received universe, and I don't know. I'd love to get your thoughts. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's not really a lot we can talk about in terms of the reflection, but there's a lot of like different topics we can talk about. One of the topic that that comes to mind is, for me, the only open mind is an inquisitive mind. If you're not inquisitive, it's not open. You're not open to receive. That's why no one will listen to you if you tell them what to do. That is why I never tell anyone, right? I will tell no one anything. If you ask me a question, I'll answer. But I never tell you, hey, this is what I do. You should do this, right? Because for whatever reason, if the mind is not inquiring anything, it will not be open to receive. So it's useless. It will close up all the time. So the only way we'll open is when it's looking for something. It's looking for an answer. So to me, that's an important reflection we can take out of this one, saying that in order for anyone, that's why for me is, if you want to learn anything from me, I won't tell you what to do. I only tell you this is how I did it. Use it as a point of reference and see if you can use it in any way. If you can, great. If you cannot, find something else. But that's the thing is, I'm not forcing on anyone. I'm inviting. So that, to me, that's the way we should do. Right. And we can talk about that topic if we want. The other topic that I want comes to mind as well is that I think that most people, when they go to work, they already are trying to bring out their art. And they have that intention. For example, we went. So let's go back all the way to when we were a kid, right? We asked all these questions. Why? You ask like 300 questions a day, but eventually your mom or your dad's gonna say, "Hey, shut up, eat your fries." Remember, right? So this is the culture. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I still blame the culture for everything. Meaning that the culture is the one that stops the person from bringing it up. Because let's say I just got out of college, or even I'm today, and I got an opportunity. That's even for you to say, "Hey, I got an opportunity to go over to this place." Right. Somebody recruited me. Somebody give me the book, the dip, man, and I want to go there. Right. You went over there with dreams. I say, "I'm going to go there, and I want to do this one, that." Everybody does that. It's natural for them. They're not going to say, "Well, I'm going over there. I'm going to do the least I can do." Right? No one.
Some people actually do in a weird, desperate situation. Not in the. They don't say, "I'm going to do the least I can do." They're so desperate to belong anywhere where they're like, I'll take anything and I'll figure it
Right, but
out.
the thing
Like, so
is,
they don't even have
even
good or bad. Like, I mean, they're
well,
they're like
even
C students,
in
you
that
know?
sense, well, even in that sense, they are yearning for something good. No
Right.
one is going over there and say, I'm gonna be like this bland person who does nothing, right? There's something, but most people they're gonna bring out. But the moment I bring in my culture, my core values, the core values of the company slashes it. It slaps me across the face and say, "True, don't do this again. Because you do that, I'm going to slap you. I'm going to put you down to the ground." So
Right.
this is the culture and
Well,
and
some places, some places might embrace that, but a
culture,
lot, oh,
right?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
the regardless culture. So that brings me to the other point I want to make is when you say about Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, or Henry Ford, right? This to me is what we call you and I call the seventh generation committee. We have to you have to be able to create a culture that fosters the succession.
Mhm.
If you don't create a culture that fosters succession, then it will say, well, anyone comes in, they can say, well, company can be anything now. Company could
Right.
be, this and that. But if you structure your culture in a way that this is who we are, because then you talking about, let's say, we talked about this before. You're talking about Phil Knight with the shoe, right?
Nike.
When we create this art, right? You look at Nike. You don't say Nike is an affordable shoe. You look at Nike as this performance. You're looking at
Yeah.
Apple as this art. Hey, I
Right.
stand out. So because you've built a strong culture, it will last, right? And it will last because you can say, well, I'm Apple, and I will make a very cheap phone, right?
Right.
It just contradicts the image. And
Right.
so in addition to that, that's what I want to talk about, because I think this is important to company in general, because we have to create a strong culture, but then we also have to create and instill the succession. The
The
success
founding
meaning
principles, right? Yeah.
meaning
Like,
you and I, right? In company, there's always will be a seventh generation committee,
yeah.
and that seventh generation committee will have successors.
Right.
Successors are the groom that's going to be groomed by each of the members in that committee
Right.
to succeed them and to be groomed in a way that will preserve the core values of company. And to me, this is how art can continue to live. But if you don't, because you look at Motorola, right? Motorola is a great Sam Walton, right?
Right.
So these company, because they have so many generations of these things, right? If you don't instill these kind of successions,
You get
then
lost.
it's gonna wither away.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, for sure. I mean, to that you can look to many cultures around. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind for me is the Supreme Court of the United States.
Mhm.
Like that's basically the seventh generation committee for the most part. Like,
Yes,
everybody can do whatever the hell they want to do, but there's people that are always going to understand what the core values were of this country and what they were founded on and the principles of that, and to make sure that they are saying yes, that aligns or that does not align. Like
right.
that is literally their job. That is the seventh generation of the United States. And that's the reason why we've been able to, in my opinion, like evolve with the times, in a lot of ways, but still remain true to who we are. Or you could look at the Catholic Church, with
Yep,
like
yep, yep.
the cardinals and the Vatican, and like and the Pope, and like the succession and leaders and whatever. Like that's always the same people. It takes a long time to get to those roles, and it takes a long time to understand what the Catholic faith is, and to practice it, to internalize it all, to really understand at its core what is this thing, what is this clubany that True and Chris care so much about, and spend so much time to try to find a life, what is Buddhism, what are, like all these things, right? Like you have to understand what it fucking is at its core. Like I don't think people understand what Ford is anymore at its core, right? Like I mean, it's just a fucking car company that makes some cars at this point in time. I don't think that
Right.
people understand what Walmart is at its core anymore. It is just a discount retailer that you go get cheap shit at or whatever, or and you have a lot of hassle at. Like right now, people understand what the core of Tesla is. It's a technology company. It's innovative. It's trying to move the world forward. It's I mean, I don't know. You name all the superlatives that you want to name when you think of Tesla.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a reason why. And same thing with like Steve Jobs and Apple, right? Like, I mean, you thought of Apple as think differently and like do differently, and like we're gonna control the UI. We're gonna come out with amazing new products, and we're gonna wow you because we know better than you, and we're gonna curate this shit, right? You know, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, you can even think about this with like the movie theaters. You know, this is like the fat head, really. You know, versus the long tail. Like this is about control. But passing on the idea behind the control. Like I don't know that Steve Jobs did that. I just finished his book, and I understand what he's talking about. But like, and I'm sure that he left those other people there. But like to understand that lived around him. But once you're the third generation removed from Steve Jobs, like, are they going to remember
Right,
that?
you're gonna have to you're gonna have to create the successions in a way that is clear, because
Right.
to me, Steve Jobs handpicked Tim Cook, and
Hmm?
Tim Cook is very much like Steve Jobs. Okay, his demeanor and everything
Actually,
is
he's
like
not.
Steve
No,
Jobs.
he's not like Steve Jobs at all. He's like super mild mannered and
No,
very
no,
operational driven.
his directions of the company,
Oh
right?
yeah,
He's
like he
handpicked,
understands Steve
right?
Jobs' vision. Yeah, and he's
Right.
carrying it
That's what I'm
forward.
saying
Yeah,
is because he instilled that vision and he created this legacy.
right.
And to me, like Steve Jobs versus Elon, Elon won't have a legacy. I don't think he has a legacy because Steve Jobs is like, doesn't matter what you do. I don't care what you do. I'm Apple.
Right. Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He doesn't change. I do what I do, right?
Right.
You look at Elon. Elon is a guy who does many different things, right?
Yeah, he does.
He's
Yeah.
going to say, "Hey, I built Tesla, now I leave. Now I go do Twitter and I leave, and I'll go build this X and I leave, or whatever. I build
Right.
PayPal." So the thing is, no one remembers Elon Musk as for what is Elon known for? If you think about it,
I mean, I don't even. I don't. I
exactly.
guess.
My point is that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. I mean,
I
yeah. I
rest
don't
my
know. Yeah.
case. I rest my
Yeah.
case.
Yeah.
Okay. You look at Steve Jobs. What's Steve Jobs known for?
I mean, just
Apple.
pissing excellence. You know, like I mean, like you know, like he.
But
Yeah.
there is something. It comes right
He's an
away when
artist. I mean, like that's what.
when you mention Steve Jobs. There is an image. You look at Nike. What is Nike? Make the image of Nike, right?
Just do it, and it's athleticism, athletic
Athletic, right?
excellence. Yeah. I mean,
Performance,
it's just yeah,
exactly.
performance.
So
Yeah, yeah.
that's why the legacy has to have that. Look at the Catholic
Right.
Church. What they do, you know what they do, right?
Right.
And whether you like it or not, you know. Even if
Yeah,
you
yeah,
hate them,
yeah.
you know what they do. So
Yeah,
this is to
absolutely.
me is important because you have to profess your belief. Your core values has to show. You have to
Right.
exude, have to live your core values. If you don't, no one knows what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't create
Then you're just a
this
commodity.
succession, right, planning, the seventh generation committee, it will not continue. Because the thing is, for us, is it we say if we the person that starts the company, and we say, well, this is how company would operate. This is our vision. In order for you to become this Supreme Court justice,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in company, these are the premises. These are
This is what you have to protect.
constitution.
Yeah, this is what you have to care about. This is what matters.
You
Like this
have
is
to look at these
right.
and make your decision from then on. And but also in addition to the constitutions and the values of company, we also dictate how we're going to how you're going to pass on the torch to the next person,
Mm-hmm.
right? But you have to spell it out because
Right.
you can't say, well, my my core values ohana. Ohana means family, and leave it at that, right? What the hell does family mean, right?
Yeah,
Family
what does
means
that mean? Yeah.
exactly. So you
Yeah.
have to spell out. You can't say, well, it's family, or we're
You know,
here for each other, right?
I
What
I
the
think
hell
of
does that mean?
I think of the Catholic Church immediately, like the what is it called? Is it the apostolic God, what is that prayer that we say? Like I believe in one church, one holy church,
Mm-hmm.
the God
It's your creed. It's Nicene Creed.
is that the Apostles' Creed? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's a Nicene
Uh
Creed.
yeah, this is, I believe it. Yeah, it's called the Apostles' Creed. Yeah. I believe in
Yeah.
God, the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth. I believe in Jesus Christ, his only son, blah, 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 blah.
Right,
Like,
because like I said, it's spelled out.
but
Because you know
we say
how to
this,
select the pope, right?
right.
So
Like,
everybody profess their core values. This is the belief, the core belief, right?
right.
This is why everybody repeats it every single Sunday.
Every single Sunday, you go in here and say, I believe in the Holy Spirit, the Holy Catholic Church,
and
the
then
community
once
of
you
saints, the forgiveness of
understand
sins.
all these, and you get to the point where you understand so much of this value, you can become an ordained priest, become the Monsignor and the head of the church, and then the cardinals and
Bishop,
the archbishops, and all the way to the Pope. But you know how to select? Do you know how to select the Pope?
By the cardinals elected, huh?
Exactly. Everybody knows how. I don't care if you're not Catholic. You will know how.
It's not some shareholders that are like, who's going to take the Catholic Church, and get us the next best profits in the next,
but the thing is, there is
20
a
years.
unique way to select a new pope.
Yeah.
Right. And that is written. You cannot just, this year we're gonna do something else. Right. We got last year we did paper vote. This year we're gonna do a fighting tournament. Let's do a street fighting tournament and see who can be pope. Right. So that's the thing is, if you don't dictate how things are being succeeded, then people will put in whatever ideas they have at that time, and then your art becomes
it's no longer art. This is Steve Jobs. This is Steve Jobs' argument, like, that I actually agree with. Like, I mean, once again, like, we'll have many reflections to come on that guy in the future, because I'm just writing it now, but like, it's just top of mind for me right now, where I go, like, he was a total asshole, but like I think of like the comparison of that, but that's him. But like, I think of the comparison is like Bill Gates or something like that. Like, Microsoft's legacy is already gone. Like, I mean, like, I don't even know what Microsoft is anymore. Like, I mean, like just to be honest, like, it never had a legacy. It was always about just making more profits and doing whatever the market needed, and that's what it continues to do today.
It's exactly what you say.
IBM is the same way.
It's whatever the market dictates.
It's whatever the market dictates.
So Steve Jobs say it doesn't matter.
I make what the market does. Steve Jobs said,
I still do what I do. I mean, back in the 90s, like 80s to 90s, right? Apple can't sell anything, and we don't buy it because the market dictates. But Steve Jobs saying, "No,
that was back when Scully took it over, and he went after profits, and he forgot the vision. Like, Steve Jobs was young and he didn't understand that gap in time when he had like a 12-year gap in time between 85 and 97 or whatever, when he got ousted and when he came back, that it all fell to shit, right? But at the same time, like, that was a perfect example of, like, when you lose the vision. There was a vision at the beginning of it, but it wasn't specified, like, and like there was no succession plan.
It wasn't written because Steve Jobs doing what he does. It's like, hey, I have this idea of my life, what I want to do, and I do regardless of what people say, and that's that. And because it's not written down, it's not being professed to people, it's not being passed down, so he get ousted by the board, and then later on, he bought Pixar, and Apple bought Pixar.
That's not how they came back. It was that Next Computers.
Next Computer. Right.
So they bought Next because it was like Apple was failing and they needed a new OS system, and they wanted something unique, and Next was about to collapse, and the one thing that they had built was like a unique operating system. So Apple acquired them, and Next went away, and that was how Steve got back into Apple. But it had nothing to do with Pixar. He was the CEO of Pixar when he came back to Apple. He was still the CEO of Pixar. So that had nothing to do with it was Next Computers is what they bought, and that was how he came back.
Right. But like I said, without something is being written or being told, people don't know.
It was lost. It was lost.
You go to any company and no one told you what their core value, what it expects out of you, right? And the thing is, for one thing, is to say that, hey, we are Ohana, and you 5 to 11, right? You just doing lip service, and so that's the thing. Is all goes back to what I say. Is I blame culture, and culture is super important. So culture can be good, it can be bad. It could be the thing that suppresses you, or the thing that lifts you up. And that's why I think for us, as far as company is concerned, I think we're doing the right thing by having the seventh generation committee, and we're
Yeah.
documenting things, and we are basically professing to people this is who we are,
We believe in
right?
one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church. We believe in the communion of saints. Like we're I mean, by the end of all this, we'll have our own little, clubby creed,
And
that like
we sort of do already,
kind
meaningful
of, yeah.
relationship, and that's
We
what we
believe in not
say,
running for trains. We
and
believe
we're
in,
asking
never do it
exactly.
alone. We believe in, we don't know shit. We believe in, meaningful work and meaningful relationships. Like this is and like and all the things that, we believe in having a little fun some fucking times, like we believe in like whatever. Like I mean, learning every single day and all, all you do. I mean, like there's a million things that we believe in and what we do, and we try to live it every single day. But and like for me, that's what a linchpin is. Like I mean, that's why I love this book so much. Honestly, is it's people that aren't afraid to know who they are and to try to bring out who they are and the work that they do. And to say I don't give a shit what everybody else wants me to do. I'm going to do what I know that I can do. And this is why I keep talking about Steve Jobs right now, because this is the flip side coin of Steve Jobs. Like he didn't give a fuck about anybody. Like that's why I don't want to be him. That is not who I want to be. But like, because meaningful relationships, he discounted all meaningful relationships out of the balance equation, right? Like he just said, I'm going to go all in on meaningful work, and it's extreme on what he did. But to be fair, like he was an insane linchpin that way. He was an awful person on the other side of it. Like our goal is to do them both together, and that's how we're gonna be a
Well,
linchpin.
I don't think I look at it that way, because
I do. I mean, I think
meaningful relationship is, to me, is back to the basic. Be yourself, and when you be yourself, the person that attracts to you, and attracts you to him, is the thing that align. And so you say that Steve Jobs may not have meaningful relationship. That's what you think. Maybe
yeah.
there's
I mean,
somebody
that's
else
fair.
behind
Yeah,
him, maybe his wife or whatever, like him for who he is. Because the thing is,
could be.
right. So the thing is, you're not here to please anyone,
Yeah,
right?
fair enough.
Because if you are, then you're not going to be linchpin, and you're not going to be happy, because
Yeah,
you are here to cater to other people, and to you, if it doesn't align with who you are, then it's self-inflicted misery. And so to me, regardless, the thing, you have to accept who you are. You can't say,
yeah,
well, like for you and me, I say I want to be, this majestic eagle. I want to be this king of the jungle. I don't have that personality. So
right.
why trying to be that, right? And so even if I try to be, I won't be happy, because it's not who I am. If I'm the beaver, then do the beaver. If I'm if you're the raccoon, then you be the raccoon, right? And you enjoy doing the things a raccoon does,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
No, I
So
do.
so
Yeah,
the thing is, when you are a troublemaker
I
of a
I
raccoon,
defend them.
of a raccoon, right?
Yeah,
People are gonna chase you away. So
yeah,
how do you build meaningful relationship when people chase you away? People say, hey, blah blah blah, right? Everyone runs away from you. So
that's a
how
good
do you
point.
build meaningful? But you have other raccoons to build a relationship with. That's you get into trouble together. So that is the meaningful relationship. Relationship, you don't have to be everybody. It is the
I
people that you
uh,
care about.
you've sold me on that one. You're right. Like it's
But it's important for you to be yourself. Otherwise, the
yeah,
other relationship, it doesn't come.
right.
Because if you exude this vibe of I want to be a duck when you are a beaver, right? The duck comes to you and say, well, you're not really a good duck. I don't like you.
Right.
I can tolerate you don't like. And the beaver comes and say, well, I want a beaver. I don't want to play with a duck, right? So in the end, you get no one. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But if
Yeah.
you are true to yourself, then the duck
Yeah.
say, hey,
I agree with you. Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
clear. He's
You know,
not a duck. I don't need to play with him. The beaver say, oh, I was looking for you my whole life. Let's go build bridges together. I mean, we'll
yeah.
build dams together, right? That's what I'm saying is, and go. So to kind of sum all this is, when you go to work, right? In today's society, you can't really be a linchpin. You just can't.
It's hard. No, it's hard
It's
too. You
hard,
can.
but
It's hard. You can.
you cannot be a linchpin unless you can find the environment that allows it.
Yes.
So
That's
select the job
The
Be
environment that allows it is the one that tells your boss tells me to read it, and then
yes,
I tell my team to read it,
yes,
and then like
yes.
our team is actually called Team Linchpin. And like this is the point. This is the message that I give to them every day, over and over and over again. Of like, you know,
But
be yourself.
you imagine let's say you imagine you yourself as a 20-year old, right?
Hmm?
And you work for that person you want to fire. Can you bring out your art working for that person?
No, no, not at all. No, no. So like this is
You know what I'm saying? Because that's
I
what I'm saying is you cannot go and say, well, I work at this company and I will do whatever I want, right? Yes and no. If you're Steve Jobs, then maybe yes.
you,
If you're
you,
not,
you
then you have that. There's the other one down here. This is why I
yeah.
want to bring it back to what we want to kind of give you as far as like what do we do if we say, hey, we want to bring our art? Our art is important. But in order for us to not to struggle so much, that's why I don't want to portray. The art down here is my favorite say, and I keep saying over and over again. Why make it hard? So it's easy to carefully select the job that has the environment for
Yeah.
you to bring out your art. Because right now, what do people do? Right?
They
Oh,
just
I
go
live
anywhere.
I live in the city. This is
Yeah.
closest. It's closest to my house, so I
Seems
go
like
over
that
there.
place is
Or
like,
it
I
pays
hear good
more. It
things,
pays more than
yeah.
that way.
Right.
Or it has a name. Like I told you
Right.
about yesterday. Like, hey, because thing is, people work for a big name company, and whatever, and they go to parties and say, hey, I work for Google. I work for GE.
Right.
Google make $100 billion extra of revenue last year. But if I asked it, if I'm honest, and I sometimes straightforward say, hey, how much of the profit did they give you? I said, well, well, not nothing.
Yeah,
So,
right. Yeah.
but then that's the thing is that's what I'm saying is people don't align the values that gives you the ability to bring out art. They prioritize the distance. Like the thing is, like I said, when you go buy a car, when you go on vacation, you spend like 3 months, a year planning your vacation. You took a job. When somebody calls you, say, "Hey, I got an interview for you." You interview, and they say, give you an offer a job," and say, "Okay, I accept." So, how fast do you take a job? And the job say, "Hey, you got to move to the city. You move to Alaska. You have to move, right?" And
Yeah.
people do that all the time. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what did I see people do this. All they do is they do whatever the job say, and the job is either by distances or by the payment, like how much they pay, right?
Right.
And by the
Oh yeah.
reputations of the company.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like what 1000%. Actually, there's
So these things
uh
aren't aligning with what you need to become a linchpin because you are not
no,
allowed to bring it up because Google already has their culture. If you don't align with the culture, right, they're gonna kick you out.
it's not, you're not going to work there anyway. Like there's this a coworker of mine has a friend of his that he recommended to work for me. And I'm not hiring right now because I don't have capacity to hire right now. But I've stayed in contact with this guy because I like him a lot. I think he'd be an
Mm-hmm.
amazing. I think he would be an amazing cultural fit. And if this is my company or if this is Clubany or something like that, I'd be like, we need to get him in there, True. Like, I mean, like I would be like, I don't care. Like, if we gotta, figure out how to go get more funding for scholarships or whatever, like this would be a great fit of somebody that I want to get involved in this, right? But unfortunately I don't have a spot for him. But he got laid off from his job. He worked in the technology space, and there's been a lot of layoffs in that and the world that I work in over the past 6-8 months or something like that. And unfortunately, the company he worked at was a part of that. And he's still relatively young in his career. He has values all over him, like that are just, he wants to be a linchpin somewhere. He wants to be a linchpin anywhere. And like this kid will try and bring it out anywhere that he goes. And I was talking to him just a couple of weeks ago, and he was like, I'm getting close. Like I need to make it. My severance is running out. Like, I'm young and I gotta make, I gotta keep making money, like I can't just like wait. And I was like, look, I know that I can't put myself in your shoes. However, I was like, the only advice that I will give you is I would love to hire you. I just don't have, I can't hire you right now. But I was like, the one piece of advice that I would give you, not that you're going to listen or matter or whatever, you're going to do whatever you're going to do. But like, this goes back to like, if I could go back and I was 20 years old, and I could give my 20-year-old self some advice, it would be, don't take any job just to take a fucking job. Never do that. Go find the places that align to who you want to be, and then go tell them, I fit here. I want to be here because of this, this, and this. And they will go, damn, this guy really wants to fucking be here, and I'm going to bring him in, like I don't care. I'll find a spot. If somebody came to us and said, hey, True and Chris, I really want to be in clubbing. I've listened to all your guys' podcasts. I've read blogs or whatever. I've seen what you guys do. I've talked to a few people that have said like, this is, what you guys are doing, why you're doing it. And like, and I want to do that. I want to do that. Like, and then here's why I want to do that. It's because X, Y, Z. And this is why I feel like I would want to go into this place. And this is why it aligns to who I want to be. And then we would go, shit, yeah, like get in this shit. Like, we'll figure out a way to get you on board. Like, those are the people that, like, you can't say no to them, right? Like, you can't turn them away. And then not only that, those people turn into those people that become cardinals of the Catholic Church, because they're the people that are like, when I was in high school, there was people that became priests, right? That I went to school with. I went to a Catholic high school and a Catholic grade school, and there was people that went into what do you call it? Not monastery, but what do you call it when you go to like Catholic college, like for yeah, it's a monastery. I think it's monastery. Anyway, there was people that went into that because they were like, this is me. I want to go there. This is what I want to do, and this is what I want to do with my life. And if I'm the Catholic Church, I'm like, okay, great. I have 2,000 students that went to the school. There was one person or maybe two people in that entire place that wanted to be a priest. Like, and then they say they want to be a priest, then you fucking take them. Like, you know what I mean? Like you go like, why do you want to do this? They're like, I'm telling you, like, I've spent a lot of time immersed in this stuff. And this is what I want to fucking do. And I want to go learn more, and I want to go figure out if this is the life that I want to live or not, and like, and those are the people that are going to succeed. Those are the people that are going to become the priests. Those are the people that are going to continue to explore their spirituality and the Catholic Church and all the other stuff. And those are the people that are going to one day maybe become a cardinal to elect a pope. And those are the people that are going to protect this culture. You know what I mean? Like, those are the people that you fucking want.
I mean, those are guys that are going to become pope one day.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, I mean, like, this is the shit that I'm like businesses will just hire people who's like, oh, we need to fill bodies. Like, awful decision. Employees will go, well, I just need any job. Awful decision. I get it. I mean, like, this is me in a glass house, and like, not worrying about like where my next paycheck is coming from, and not worrying about making my kid has a sickness or whatever, I need health insurance, or I get it. Like, I'm saying in my world, the gravest mistake you could ever make is put yourself into that environment, because it goes back to what we were talking about last week of, like, when two people are in a place they don't want to be, it's just a negative shit spiral downward, right? When two people are in a place they really want to be, it's an incredible spiral upward.
I mean, it's gasoline on a fire.
It is.
That's the thing is, people, they overlook the important aspect of the core values and the environment. A lot of people say, well, the thing is, I'm sure he can get a job somewhere. It's just that people expect him to get a job in a certain, field, in a certain range of salary, blah, blah, right? The thing is, if he goes to a place where he can be a linchpin, it breaks the ceiling easily, no problem. But the thing is, that's what I'm saying is, to me, if you live in America, I mean, even you have no money, you can still survive. Okay, America is great. I mean, people will take care of you. Right? And so the thing is, you don't have to worry about dying. They won't let you die. Yeah, you won't have the luxury. Yeah, but you won't die. So the thing is, you can say, well, I can work for some place that I really like. I can make just barely enough, but it will catapult you faster than you would go to a place where you expect the salary is this level, and you can't even break the ceiling. But the other place where a foster the linchpin in you, the art in you, it's gonna be like gasoline on fire, and it's gonna fly, right? And to me, that is more important to prioritize than what society tells you to prioritize. People say, hey, look for the highest job, paying job, looking for the
most prestigious,
most prestigious, or whatever.
What people care about more, like what's gonna wow people at a party, like, I mean, like, Yeah, I
I
agree.
mean,
Yeah,
it's to impress. I mean, the point is, we are conditioned to try to impress, and that for us, for most part, it exhausts our willpower because it's a lot of work.
it is.
But if
It's a lot of work.
if you are constantly using your power for those area of focus, then you have no power to put in the art, and then
Yep.
your life won't go anywhere. Because you think about it, if you continue to be this person and you happen to die one day, what would be said on your tombstone, right? Because for me,
You worked for Ford, and like
you work for Ford, but the thing is,
in 200 years from now they're gonna
but
go, what the fuck is Ford?
if you don't
Yeah.
care about cars, then that is
Yeah.
meaningless. That's probably a slap in your face.
Right. Yeah.
For me, it's like, hey, on my tombstone say this guy don't run for train. I mean, I would be ecstatic to see my
That'd be
tombstone.
pretty cool actually.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But thing is,
That'd be really cool actually.
what does that means to anyone? It means shit to anyone, but it means
Mm-hmm.
a lot to me, right? Because for you,
Right.
living for you, what does that mean to anyone? It means shit to anybody, but it means
Right.
a lot to you. So that's the thing is, I mean, it could think, yeah, this guy's a billionaire, but
In
what
a
then?
1,000 years, a billionaire would probably be like a thousandaire. They'll be like, oh my god, that guy was a billionaire. Like that's stupid. Like I mean, we all make trillions of dollars now. Like this is dumb.
Right.
Like
And so,
yeah, yeah,
I think the thing is, a lot of times society is not very, um, I guess, kind to us in terms of what we can do to bring out the art. So we have
right,
to find a way. Like I said, the other rundown here is find the environment first. The faster for you to do this upshoot. You gotta
right.
upshoot your career, and your career that will be, you could be linchpin in that, and it's gonna be easy. It's like
Yeah,
no one for train kind of deal. If you go to a place where it's gonna suffocate you, your flame of core value will be burned out and will suffocate, and it will just die completely. Like all of these art that you think that you want to bring out,
right.
eventually it becomes jaded, and it just, that it get either get buried or it just completely disappear. That's why a lot
Yep.
of people work for a company for so long, right? They hated the job, but they are so delusional in it. They don't know how to go back anymore. But I
Right.
guarantee you, everybody that is start, fresh from college or whatever, or have this dream of going to a job or going to whatever, and dreaming of making a difference. Because no one said, I'm going to go there, I'm going to be a shitty employee. No one says that, right? It's only after you go into a company and you get
I would
smacked
respect
around
that.
and
I would
suffocate.
respect that. I would respect the shit out of that because that goes back to our getting F's versus C's versus A's, conversation. I would be like, man, if you can get hired somewhere and say like, I'm gonna go fuck this, I'm not gonna do fucking shit until they fucking fire me. I would see how long I could do
but
nothing. It'd be like Office Space,
the thing
where the
is,
guy just like walks in one day and he's like,
but the
I
irony,
don't want to do anything.
of that is a dream as well.
Right. I know.
The dream of fucking up the job, right? That's the dream. So everybody has a dream, has this eager anticipations of
Right.
doing something that makes them feel like I have accomplished something great. I'm
Man,
going into this company, I'm going to make a fucking F, right?
how
That's
cool
a
would that
dream.
be?
I mean,
How cool would that be?
keeps you up all night and say, I can't sleep. I get so many ideas how to fuck up this. That's a
Yeah.
dream. That's what I'm saying is the irony of it.
I almost want to go and make you almost just inspired me to want to go get hired at like every major company and be like, look, I'm gonna get a job at Google and I'm not gonna do anything. And I'm gonna document me not doing anything until and see how long I can survive doing absolutely nothing in this environment. And then once they fire me, I'm gonna take my Google experience and my Salesforce experience and my all the other experiences that I have and all these other name brands. I'm gonna go to, you name the next company. Like they're gonna go, oh man, we just hired this guy that used to work at Google and Facebook and all these other places. And I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna document I'm not gonna do
that already
anything.
happened. That already happened. You see so many CEOs of different company that comes out. Oh, a Google employee. It's like, it turned to shit. You look at
right.
you look at all these Silicon Valley company, a big company. They
Oh
all
my
have
God,
this.
true. That would be an awesome book to write. I got to write that down as a note. I mean, that would be an awesome book to write of like just get hired and literally like Office Space it, where you just
Yes,
do
yes.
absolutely nothing, and to see how long it would take somebody to go.
I'm not gonna work today.
I think Chris isn't doing anything. Like, and I mean, I can't even imagine what this would be like of my boss coming to the realization, going, I think he's fucking with us. Like, he doesn't do anything, and I'm gonna go, yeah, no, I didn't do anything. I'm gonna see how long I can survive doing absolutely nothing. The best role to do those in is a leadership role, because like I don't have to do anything, because like technically I don't have to produce anything, so like nobody would ever even check in. I mean, I think I could probably go just being nice to people. I could probably go. I'm gonna give myself 18 months to 2 years.
That already exists though. That's what I'm saying is all these managers and leadership.
Oh no, I know, but like, and I'm talking about intentionally going. I think I can go 18 months. I think I could do, like, give me an over under of a year, and like, oh my God, you should start to do bets, like, on this. Like, you should take the over under of like, this guy just got hired at Google.
I was willing to say at least a year without people even notice shit.
I don't even know, man. Like, I mean, we would have to do like a nightly podcast where I'll be like, I did absolutely nothing today. This is
we
awesome.
should do that. We should do that.
Oh my God, this would be so fun. Like, what's the worst thing that can happen? Who cares? I get a job. Like, I mean,
and then we can air, and then I think it's gonna be like wildly popular for after that year you're done. And everybody's gonna see, we're gonna release an episode every day. We come every night. You and I talking about, hey, what you do today? Nothing.
I should start growing a beard. I'm like, look, I look like a homeless person. True. Like, I should like never do my hair. I should never get changed. I should wear a hoodie everywhere that I go. I should come to every meeting like that, like this, where I should get more and more like a fucking I will never have a one-on-one with my employees until the point in time where they're like, I don't do I have a boss? I don't know, guys. Like, we'll text me if you need me. I'll be on the golf course. I
get more important things to do. Do yourself. Absolutely nothing, right?
I don't even know how we could create content for this, but like, this would be just a hilarious experiment.
All we have to do is you do the job, and we go on every night, and we talk about what you do today, and just
what I did do today. What I did do.
Just document what happened. And as long as we document the whole entire series until you get fired,
until they discover that we have a YouTube channel that's like, I worked at Google. I'm working at Google and I don't do anything. I want to see how long it takes me to get fired. This is hilarious.
That will get views. I guarantee you, people are going to tune into that, and we're going to release it like one episode a day or whatever. Right?
Here's a better question: could I still keep my job that I like and get a job somewhere else? Could you do that?
Yeah, of course. Why not? Because you do nothing.
No. I'm saying, could I like spend all day long doing OSF stuff, get a job at Google?
What's to stop you from doing it? What's stopping you from doing it?
What is
nothing to stop you? Nothing to stop you from doing it. Okay, because if you're trying to get fired, right? That means you absolutely do nothing.
Right. You're right.
Then you don't have a lot of time to do OSF. If you don't want to get fired there, then you still can do the work that's meaningful to you at OSF, right?
That's hilarious. Yeah. So it's like, how do you get an F at like, okay, all right. My head's spinning. Like,
I mean, you think about this topic: how to get fired from Google.
How do you get fired? Once you get hired at Google, how quickly can you get fired at Google without doing anything to violate HR laws or whatever? Just being a good person. I will strive to be a good person. Like,
as long as you don't do anything criminal or fraudulent, they won't do anything to you. It's performance based, right?
Here's the mandatory stuff I would do. I will show up to every mandatory meeting that I have to show up to. I.e., like, if you have an excuse. No. I mean, at least for the first 6 months, I will show up to every mandatory meeting. I will never schedule a meeting. I will never attend a meeting that is not mandatory. If anybody ever asks me, like, "Hey, where's Chris at on this?" I'm gonna go, "Oh, sorry guys, I had something that came up today. Whatever."
Yeah. So the thing is, the episode we can talk about, What was your excuse today? How did you get out of that meeting today,
Oh,
right?
my son had a doctor's appointment. I don't even know. Like, sorry, I'm helping my wife with charity work at her school or something. We can strategize the night before. Like, how am I gonna get out of my meetings today that aren't mandatory? This would be fucking awesome.
That would be hilarious. But I mean, I think that would be interesting.
It would be really fucking funny. Like I mean, and then we should start secretly. We should go to Vegas and we should put a money line on. This guy got hired at Google, and he's trying and he wants to see how quickly he can get fired without doing anything. Like, you know what, like see if you can find a way to take bets on this. Of like what's the set the over under date on the Vegas line or whatever. You know, of how long it takes for this this Google employee to get fired. Nobody knows who I am. Like, nobody knows what I do. Like, nobody knows whatever. Oh man, or shit, we can take our own bets. Like, I mean, I guess we could just.
That's why I say, if I don't bet against you, so they don't have an incentive to sabotage, right. I would say at least a year.
Oh, I'm gonna go with 7 months should be the over under, because you know why? Like, you got to give everybody ramp time, no matter what. Like,
that's what I'm saying is the ramp time is at least 6 months. Okay, so sure. 6 months. But I know the thing is, I know that
then you go on a PIP, then you go on a PIP for like 3 months.
You got it because it's performance based, and you have to have probations, right?
What if my
probation
team,
is fucking 90 days, right?
What if my team accidentally performs though? Like,
that's why I say at least 12 months. You can do at least 12 months based on what I know in terms of how much time you need to vamp up. And how much you have to give them probation period, and plus that you're the guy who can bring up a lot of interesting excuses that it's persuasive.
Oh man, this would be like one of the hardest things I think I've ever done in my life, to like not work and try at a job that I got hired to do.
The thing is, you're gonna be so mad because you couldn't get fired.
Right. Well, no, I'm gonna keep my normal job. I'm just gonna get a job there, and I'm just not gonna tell them I quit.
They're not gonna fire. They're not gonna fire you because, like I say, because you know how when you have a job, right? Because how you ever try like getting fired?
I've never tried getting fired, no.
It's not easy to get fired.
I've tried. I've been a people leader many a times where we've tried to want to fire.
But the thing is, they don't fire you until they have to, and they have to, But that's the thing is, if they don't have to fire you, they won't fire you, because the thing is, like, I mean, that's why a lot of people quit before they get fired, because they can't stand anymore, because they do absolutely nothing. They try to get fired. Right, so they try.
What level of employee do I need to be? What level do I need to be in a people leadership role? I think I do to not do anything, because I think it would be even more obvious if I did absolutely nothing. But I don't know. I could get hired in a sales role, and I could just make pipeline up every single day, and I could just be like, I'm talking to this person, like, I can totally do that. Where I'm like,
the people role and the leadership role, I think you can go longer. Because I've seen the programmer, like where you write code, last more than 6 months. He does absolutely nothing.
Oh my god! You should. All right, if I do this in a sales leadership role, you need to do this as a programmer role, and do absolutely nothing. We'll see who can last longer.
Well, leadership is gonna last longer.
Well, no, you should try to go get hired as a technology leader. And I'll get hired as a sales leader.
Yeah, as a technology leader, I can
company together.
I can go head to head with you on that.
Yeah.
But if I have to deliver something, right? If I have to deliver something, I can probably start for at least 6 months to 9 months.
So no, this is what we should do. True is we both pick a company and we both agree to go get a job there. I get a sales leadership job. You get a technology leadership job. And we both do absolutely nothing. It's got to be a big enough company that like we can blend in, and we're not like super important people or anything like that. But we both go blend into this role.
The bigger company, we're gonna blend in for years.
Oh, for sure. But then we can see who lasts longer. Like every night we get together and we talk about what we didn't do that day, and how, and we're still here, until we have to like act, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that'd be awesome. All right, let's put a pin on this one. We should revisit this because this would be the anti-linchpin, right? This is like how long can we be the
No,
anti-linchpin?
that's not anti-linchpin. It's actually linchpin.
Okay, fair enough.
Because you and I are troublemakers, and that's what we dream about.
That's true. This is straight raccoon shit.
This is actually
It's like
linchpin.
yeah.
Linchpin.
This is straight raccoon shit.
This is what we're talking about when we're talking about your art. This is
right.
You and I are good at this.
How long can we do nothing and get paid? That'd be awesome. Oh my God, this is getting great. Like, all right. Let's circle back to this another night. But all right, let's put a pin on this one for the night. We'll circle back for tomorrow. We'll see you all tomorrow for part 2 of 3 for Linchpin. And thanks for joining. Have a great night.
And you see you tomorrow.